that this alteration is comprehensive and irreversible.
Right, so does it alter... That kind of, not confused me, but made me ask the question, silent question in my own head, last episode, of does this process of severance alter your brain somehow? I acknowledge that what did she say? Hang on.
Is comprehensive and irreversible.
Irreversible and comprehensive. Irreversible. What's irreversible? Like what specifically? Severance itself? Because it's not always in effect, right? So that's what I mean. It must alter you somehow. And that alteration is irreversible. If it's triggered by whatever it is that triggers it, whatever that is, maybe they can, I don't know, maybe that gets mobile at some point.
The elevator has a handrail at hip level if you feel dizzy.
Wow, it's so weird seeing him with a little personality too. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, they all of their personages on the lumen floor, in the workplace, they're all a little bit deader. They're all a little bit lacking in personality, and I think that's meant to show you something, right? Because I was talking about it last episode of this process. I think after a while, right? I was speculating on it, and I think PT kind of confirmed it. You know, obviously we have Mark. He was like, yeah, I wanted to kill the voice initially, and I was like, maybe there was a process where, okay, you try stuff, you weren't okay, and you just become resigned to it after a time because you realize you're trapped. There's nothing you can do. It's just your life, it's just your normal, which obviously very applicable to our world. But they're all like that. They've all had to do that, go through that process. But what does it mean? It means they're all lacking in humanity, personality, joy, laughter, you know. I mean, just look at these two walking down here, how different they are to how they're, or obviously, you know, for her, she's just got in there, it's very different. But him especially, right? And how much colder, how much lacking he is, how dehumanized he is. It is this scale model of what that does to a person, which, like I say, very applicable to our world. There's a warning.
I love seeing the sunrise on his face.
Who is it?
You know, he used to drink 3 raw eggs and milk each morning.
That can't be healthy.
His favorite breakfast.
Is he a bit of a freak? I do kind of want to meet him. Right. Ouch. Yeah, so they literally go in. I wonder if there's any side effects to this process that we don't know about yet. And even these guys outside are being swindled. Not okay, I didn't see that, but fair enough. And not being told about it. Not having the full information before they make the decision. Jesus. Is it tickle? Right. Straight through the brain. Cool. Right, Petey did mention the chip, yeah, so that's what they trigger. But what does that do? And how does it affect the brain?
I'm very excited to meet you.
Or maybe, I'm very excited to meet you. Might just be a turn of phrase, but does he keep his memories? And he just puts his personality under wraps willingly? Okay, beautiful. That's deep. That can't be said. They just drilled a hole, just a straight hole, and plopped that. What do you mean? Yeah, irreversible, so they can't take that out. Fair enough. I mean, very deep.
Sometimes when a new hire is adjusting to a separate space, we help by bringing them here to the stairwell.
Oh no, I'm trying to leave.
No. It's all part of the process. Round and head back in, that should be that.
Ooh, so you're not telling. I mean, I feel like people should be able to work that out, that the person in there might not want to be there, right? So there is still some responsibility, I feel like, with Helly. But she's not been told. She's specifically being told that she's not trying to get out. She was afraid. And there was human fear there, human worry for the person on the other side of that door. That's interesting. And humanizes her. Makes me feel a little bit warmer, gentler towards her. Because this is the thing, if she's been told the truth of the situation, would she change her mind? Maybe she would. But she's just not being told. Yeah. Okay, so they are being lied to, and that perhaps lending maybe an answer as to, are they being lied to before this process too? They're willing to do it here. Maybe they're willing to do it all the way through the process, not being told something. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I think he does. He does retain his memories, this guy.
Hey there.
Right.
Want to give it another shot? Maybe with a little oomph?
Helly, work it out.
It's going fair.
Really?
I'm gonna call you back. Wow.
I love this aspect of the show. It did this last episode too, where it shows a scene and then later it goes back to it and actually, oh, you didn't see all of that scene. I love that. I do kind of love that. Adding layers to all of these scenes to kind of give you more context and fill things out. Already, just because I'm seeing this side of the door, I'm seeing more of her personality, like I say, talking about that. Okay, well, there was a little worry in her tone, actually. It warms me, softens me a little bit towards her. This scene is going a long way to, I think, informing the audience. Additionally, in a way that first scene doesn't, not in the same way. You're on the side of the other Heli. It's interesting how they're playing around with the narration. Perspective. Almost tearing your allegiance as the audience. Because I think episode 1, you're very much on the Heli side in the workspace, aren't you? That's where it puts you. Very natural to do that, to go there as the audience. Now, me, speaking for myself, I'm feeling a little bit for her. Not feeling in the same way, like I say though. Softening towards her, because I see them very much as two different people, which I think they are. But this is what I mean. If they achieve that thing of making me empathize with both versions of these people, which he kind of was doing with Mark as well last episode. The Mark we saw outside in his normal life, you're like, you're a piece of work, aren't you? Because you don't know anything about him. You just know what he's done. You just know that he's severed. Then you find out the background of what's going on with him, humanizes him, his wife, he's going in basically to forget 8 hours of his day just to help with the grieving process. Very human thing, very, very empathizing thing that you feel towards him as a character, right? So it started to do that with his character, now it's starting to do it with hers, and what an interesting dynamic that is with the audience. What an interesting relationship with the audience is forming as to how the show's being told. Yeah, that's so interesting. Like I say, tugging on allegiances. We'll see where that goes. But the seeds for that being laid right now, and episode 1 too.
You're an inquisitive one.
I don't want to be in there, do I?
Okay.
You're learning that you do.
You're learning that you do. She's working it out. She's maybe doubting, worrying, and you're there to smooth that over with any lie that you can. It's insidious.
It's amazing what you're doing.
That's how they get you, innit? Lies, lies, lies. Positive reinforcement that doesn't really mean anything. Just makes you do what they want.
Hey, old timer. One day down.
Oh, hello. Intro. You goddamn right, I'm gonna see it. Animated. Many marks. Almost a crisis of identity. Who are you? Which one are you? Because you're both now, right? I'd say so. Like, sure, I'm talking about them being two different people, but they are literally... Christopher Walken? What? Okay, you can't just... let's relax. Can't jump scare me with Christopher Walken, mate. But they are literally the same person. They just happen to be split now. There you go. Yeah, and they become one. Half loop. What have you got for me? Oh, Egan is the guy. Okay. Coffee! Hey, do you know what? This is the better version. Sorry, I am biased. Yeah, what a test for these actors too. Having to demonstrate, show these changes between personalities. The voice changes, the mannerisms. Petey! The mannerisms, how they're changing too. Is there like a slight deja vu thing almost? Of you saw him on the outside? I wonder if the personalities, the memories are gonna, I don't know, cross-contaminate.
So it's tomorrow now?
Yeah.
What a hellscape.
A weekend just happened.
Yeah.
And you don't remember.
You get used to it.
You get used to it. Just get on with it and nothing ever changes.
Yeah, they stagger the entries too, so we don't meet on the outside. It's important, apparently.
Is it? So you meeting PT might actually affect you then. Yeah, so you're going to be affected. That's why you put the pictures away. Is that the only way that's going to impact you? I wonder.
So I guess we're not friends.
Guess not.
You can be friends in here.
I've earned 4 of the 5 tier incentives, and the finger traps that you see displayed here
Okay.
get you a caricature portrait.
Wow.
Correct.
Wow, yeah.
So that's the highest award?
That sucks.
I'm sorry, a waffle party?
Okay, hazards on, eager lemur. I'm a deadlock for that this quarter, so don't get your hopes up.
God, guess what? It gets so much worse.
Mark's crystal head cube.
That's not a prize, that's just something they gave him.
It's so interesting, isn't it, how they manipulate value in the workplace. How, to me, outside of this, I'm like, these rewards suck. They don't mean anything. You accrue them, they lose their luster. Did they really have any meaning in the first place? No. Are you actually getting anything? No. Are you actually getting any joy, any happier experience in this life? No. But when you're in it and that's the only thing that exists, they get injected with value. How long, how often have people, you see the kind of very typical, I feel like, example now of people wanting raises and being given a pizza party because they performed well in a certain quarter or whatever it might be, right? How many of those has it taken for people now, today, to get to the point where it's like, pizza, really? Are we not worth more than that? How long? I'm sure there were people 20 years ago, 30 years ago talking about it too, but not, I think, in the waves that we are now. Things are so bad, cost of living is so bad now. So yeah, sorry, that's what I mean when I talk about how these environments inject value into things without value. The waffle party, to these guys, that's the pinnacle, right? That's the top of the top, the only kind of joy that you might get. This is their life. This isn't just their work, it's their life. How bleak. It kind of exemplifies, I feel like, the stuff that we have in the real world. Puts a scope on it and goes, look at it. Makes you look in a way that perhaps if you're out here in the world, you're doing it, you're experiencing it, you're in it, you don't notice it. When you're watching a show, you're out, you're watching, you're looking in, and it's like, God, that's horrible. It's trying to almost make you join the dots. I kind of love the show for that. It's a show that's trying to make you think.
Mark, sorry to interrupt.
Oh my God, you were there the whole time of say hi, dear Lord.
Notice you removed the group photos from the desk.
Yeah, we're gonna take the new ones at Ellie's party today.
That makes sense. Yeah, fair.
And then sort it evenly between 5 digital buckets.
I do think the old photos are supposed to stay on the desk.
You gotta relax, buddy. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. This work looks mind-numbing.
From upstairs, fully encoded.
Then how do I categorize it?
However you want.
As to elicit an emotional response in the refiner.
Oh.
They'll be sort of disconcerting, scary.
Weird.
My job is to scroll through this spreadsheet and look for numbers that are scary.
Are the numbers bloody? Do they chant?
Hey, Mark, I just printed out the passage of the handbook on changing out group photos.
You're a nightmare, mate. I'll be honest with you. You are the worst kind of person to work with. I do not. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Am I trapped here?
Yeah.
In what way?
All of them.
Hate this and I want to quit. Is that an option?
If you're really unhappy.
Oh, desk sit. Okay. Is that meant to make us feel more relaxed? Because strangely, it kind of did, actually. Well done, mate. Fair enough. Slightly condescending too at the same time, but
You can submit a resignation request with your outside self for review.
Oh, they're absolutely not giving him that. There's no way. For review. And it gets rejected and rejected and rejected, right? There's no way they're giving that to your other self.
And good luck getting that approved.
Yeah.
They do tend to be rejected. And quitting would effectively end your life.
Yeah, what happens PD, right? But what happens when this version wants life? A different life. Revolution. Yeah, funny. That we're, mobilization of the workforce, right? We're kind of bandying about the concepts just in this conversation, subtly, under the surface.
Sweet, melon bar.
Hi, Mr. Milchak.
Melon, really? That's so bland.
The office feels whole. Now.
It's weird, yeah.
Let's get this party started.
Are we having a disco?
My name is Irving, as you all know.
Okay, no, this is fresh hell. I hate this stuff, man.
I've worked here for 3 years, and
I was once in this setting for a job interview, right? And it was like an open job interview, so we were all sat around. They asked a question, and they were like, if dead or alive, if there's one person you could spend time with, who would it be? Guess who went first? This guy. Guess who I said? I said Michael Jackson. Yes, I did. Which, to be fair, I thought was a great pick. Mate, it'd be an experience. You could sing a song, do a little dance, do you know what I mean? Be quite interesting, could be quite nice. This was when I was younger, by the way. There have been some questionable things since that I've become aware of. Anyway, they moved on to everybody else. Do you know who everybody else said? Mum, brother, dad. I look like a dickhead. I just look like a dickhead, man. Honestly, that scarred me. I hate these situations, and I will never say Michael Jackson again. except for this conversation to let you guys know.
Something about me is that I know all 9 core Lumen principles.
What's your favorite?
You've worked here for 3 years, and yet last episode you were talking as if you'd been working here your whole life. What was that about? Have we got a case of unreliable narrator here? Are they getting reset in here, do you think? Did Irving, if they get to a place like where PT got to, where they do get to the point where they're running out, they don't want to be here, they become aggressive and a problem, do they get wiped? Does that have an effect on the brain? Is that creating how Irving is? All by the rules, all by the books, right? Wiping him, becoming more of a mindless worker because of that, maybe? Speculation, theories.
All 9.
Guy.
Up. No trust fall.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Irv.
right.
He's too trusting, isn't he?
No.
That's very sinister laugh, Irv. I don't like that.
Hello, I'm Helly.
Yeah.
And for like 10 hours total, and
It's horrible.
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about myself.
That's a good point too,
I like to think my Audi lives on like a riverboat.
I love your Zen, mate. Hey.
I'm sorry, Audis are...
On the outside.
Not a belly button then. Gotcha.
You saw yours yesterday in the video.
Belly button or?
Can I record something back?
It's a good question. Irv, you gotta calm down.
The elevators are equipped with something called code detectors, so messages can't be passed through.
Okay, we're information gathering. This is good.
Guys, this is Helly. She's 30 years old, she's allergic to almonds, and has weak enamel.
You can't take her turn.
Her hair is what we call shoulder length.
Right, okay. You are sinister, mate.
And seeing her here with you all, I say she most definitely has a family.
Sorry, I did just throw up in my mouth, though.
Well, that's a lot to follow.
It wasn't even her, buddy. Oh, God.
Broke protocol this morning.
Oh, pictures. Oh, God.
Old group photos, the ones with PD.
PD! Love that guy.
Feel sad.
Right, okay.
Took them from the cubicles and put them in the storage closet, which we're not supposed to do.
Wow, you just admitted that right out, huh? So obedient. Yeah, they've been battered and battered and battered to the point that, someone like Mark, Irv, even more so, they're just falling in line. Becomes so normalized, becomes your life. These become your family, everything you know. And it's almost, which one then is your life? I've worked in an office environment and I noticed this happening too, and I hated it. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, it would be so easy to stay, because I hated the job. I really hated it, and I hated every single day. But the group of people were really cool. And it got to a point where I remember going home and thinking it feels more like, because I was living with my family, my parents at the time. And I was like, the people that I work with feel more like my family than my family almost. I'm spending more time with them. Right, and there was an age range that everyone filled all of the gaps, and it got to a point where I was like, they're getting me through it. They're getting me through the days, picking me up, through the moments where I don't like it, which is pretty much all of it. Let me tell you, there was a lot of poos on office time. You got to take it when you can get it. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing better than what feels like an illegal poo. I got to get off the poo, that's fair. But I remember remarking to myself, and I think to people, as I've talked about this in my personal life before, of how easy it would have been to have stayed and stay for longer. And I knew that I stayed in that job for longer than I would have, if not because of the people around me. It does. It suckers you in. It becomes your normal. It becomes warm. It becomes comfortable to the point that you don't want to betray them. And you get it all the time where that line blurs, or bosses try to blur that line of, we're not boss and worker, we are friends, do you know what I mean? And you do end up saying stuff like this, which might get Mark in trouble here. Feels like it. Look at his face. Right. And sorry, once again, the show, I feel like bringing to the forefront these very real things, very subtly sinister things that keep us in patterns that I think ultimately harm us, don't make us happy, and not only stop us from asking questions, but stop us from rebelling, stop us from realizing, actually, if we just said no, we have the power and we can change things.
We're not supposed to do.
Look how quick he was a good little boy there.
Thank you for telling me, Mark.
He doesn't have to admit that.
Things like deaths happen outside of here. A life at Lumen is protected. And I think a great potential response to that from all of you is gratitude.
Wow. Under the heel of your boot, aren't we?
Also think that melon isn't getting any tastier.
Oh, it never does though, does it? Let's be honest. There is like 5% of a melon that tastes good, and it is the very center. And the kicker about melon. Let me tell you, is that it all looks the same. You can't tell until it's in your mouth, and then it's too late. Really, buddy? That's horrible. What have you been doing? Been picking your arsehole? Sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't have to go there.
You made it way worse.
Friendship.
So how are you gonna figure out if Petey's okay?
Sleuthing, let's go.
You're just done asking about your best friend because our babysitter told you to stop?
I like your attitude, mate.
Yeah, Milchick's a nice man.
Is he?
He says something, it's best to listen.
Why? What's happened?
Because you can't always be nice like that.
Oh, God.
Refiners, let's get this new group photo before the melon bloat sets in.
He's terrifying. Yeah. Stay vigilant.
At last.
What do you mean?
Remember, you're gonna be looking at this every day.
We can't take a new one at any point.
Say gratitude.
Gratitude!
Oh, you fluffed. Okay, no, he's doing more. Okay.
Cheers.
You gotta get one, Helly. Come on. Yes.
Helly.
Yeah. Walking out?
I think I'm not gonna work here anymore.
Nice.
There's code detectors.
Dude, it sounds made up.
I feel like they have, though. Let's give it a go. Oh, God.
Please, do no!
Oh, God. Who are you? Alright, you gotta put that face away, buddy.
So you found my wayward trainee.
You were trying to save her from something. What? Was it your asshole Irv was digging around in because you don't look happy?
On you, then. Let's go.
Wow, okay. What's gonna happen? Lots of corridor walking in it. That's a dark room. Or a thin corridor. Fair enough. Is this the Minotaur's lair? What are we doing? Break room. Who's breaking? What's getting broken? Is the red lighting really necessary?
So you're a doula.
Okay. Slightly terrifying.
How many deliveries have you seen?
Over 300?
High amount.
Yeah, where do you go from there?
So is it like 10 a week?
Oh no, we gotta get off that, mate. We moved on.
Are you vetting me for your sister? Lumen. Like half this town.
And half of me. That was a joke.
You gotta give her a chance to laugh, though.
Division, sort of a corporate historian, apparently. Sensitive material, hence the...
Right, so they are just lying to you.
You could have a girlfriend at Lumen and not know it.
Oh God. What if they have sex? What if someone does get pregnant and they come out and they're
It doesn't mess with your head?
For some people, it's the point.
Yeah. It's kind of an interesting commentary. I felt my mind going towards the place of like how corporations, places where you work, companies, whatever. Not all of them, right? But how they do exploit the less healthy characteristics of humanity. I mean, he was just talking about it there. That's the point, to forget, right? And we obviously know why, for him specifically. But I imagine Lumen, it attracts those kinds of people that are struggling, right? And it's like, that shouldn't be the solution. And then I kind of caught myself thinking, well, the solution is, okay, that we should be trying to heal that person, heal them through their grief. How do you do that? Therapy. And it's interesting how the show kind of gets ahead of that argument in the first episode, because it does reveal that, okay, he has the opportunity to do that, but he's not going, or it's not working. So it does kind of beg the question, what's the answer? Actually, is it performing some kind of positive function for people? I suppose the question then is, if we have the technology to make people forget, how far can you take that? Is this a half measure? Should that technology, if that's the function of it and therapy's not, look, at the end of the day, I don't know enough about that. Therapy probably should be something he's going to. Is it something he's willingly opting out of? It seems kind of like that. But sorry, it begs the question of how many people get into jobs that facilitate parts of themselves. And it can be something different. It can be, okay, well, are you motivated by a competition? Okay, well, sales, sports, something that kind of appeals to you. That kind of makes you feel more whole as a person. I mean, you can argue that perhaps is, the function that it's serving for him. And sorry, so it existentially kind of begs the question, what is the function? What is the function of work? What is there, because, I've been talking so far about negatives, I think, quite often, more so. But, it would be unfair of me not to ask the question, is there also a positive function? Because I think there is too. My dad sells cars. and he loves motorsports. He loves cars. It's his one interest, and he loves his job. You know, not everyone's as fortunate as that, which is the unfortunate thing, right? We can't all guarantee that we get that, and I think there are far more people that don't enjoy what they do than do. But you can't deny that, you know, there are some elements of work that do help people, do help humanity, give people purpose. If they didn't have that, would they be doing that anyway, just not for the money? If you know, our system, if our society worked in a way that meant that, you know, we're not all driving towards this, okay, money, we need that to live. Sorry, there's not really necessarily any point to this conversation. I just feel like it's interesting and kind of exists as a conversation topic in the show. Hey, if you've got something to add to the conversation, put it down in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested. Something I would like to add to this conversation in relation to the show is that our protagonists so far in Mark and Helly do display aspects, their outies at least, of hating themselves. I'm not sure about Helly yet, but I'd suspect there's some element of her not valuing herself. I think you almost have to have that aspect to yourself to even want to go through Severance. It puts you in this place of, I don't care about what happens in there, because to care would mean you'd have to value yourself. After all, it is themselves they're sending in there. At least from Mark's perspective, we see him having a terrible time. He's drinking, not really embracing life. I'd hazard a guess as to him internalizing a lot of his grief. There's no one to blame, so why not himself? It would explain why he's so quick to justify Severance in the way he does, because his sense of value is so skewed. Why would he think of it any other way? I like this theory because it makes the show this lesson in loving oneself, going on a journey that teaches us the value of valuing ourselves. I think obviously, look, contextually in the show it's crossed a line. They're obviously lying to these people. They're obviously doing something else. PT was talking about what they're doing in the basement. Maybe he was just referring to the fact that they're lying. I mean, we've got all this code. What does that mean? They don't even know while they're in there, right? There's clearly something going on. A line's been crossed. You can probably have the benefits of something and not have it err into the side of grey, of blackness, of darkness that I think Lumen are. If we apply that to our world, I think the only reason it's as bad as it is because we don't particularly have the pay that we should for the jobs that we have. You know, people at McDonald's should be able to work and live off the wage they earn from that job. It's a job. It's crazy to me that people think that that shouldn't be something that everybody who works 40 hours a week, a full-time job a week, shouldn't be able to afford to live. How are they supposed to afford to live? That's crazy. If you as a person consume a coffee on a morning, but you don't think someone working in that establishment deserves the wage that they need to be able to easily pay their jobs, their grocery, and have enough over to live a life that's full and plentiful, you're insane. Of course they should have that. You know, that's the issue. That's the issue we're suffering from, I think. That needs to be fixed. It opens the door to talk about capitalism and how as a system it doesn't work, because it eventually always gets to that point, right? Anyway, topic maybe for another day. But yeah, it's a nuanced conversation. Not all bad, not all good. But I mean, if you ask me, my opinion, more bad than good.
Isn't Minnesota like...
The one time I visited from my home in Montana.
Oh God.
The Whole Mind Collective, they're great.
Okay.
Do you have a moment for children's brain health?
Brain health.
We're trying to get a measure on the ballot to keep megacorporations
and Severance, yeah.
continuing to force legalized severance on our state.
They're forcing it now?
That's what...
Let's go. I love these guys.
So people can just, like, self-imprison.
Yeah.
Your past self chose to walk you down here to be an infantilizing to people.
Severance is subjugation.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm. These young people have valid points. They're not really addressing your talking around. And I mean, look, he's coming from a very personal place, obviously. So he has to try and... I mean, he's clearly justified it a lot in his head. Ignored the questions or fooled himself into thinking that, you know, he's doing it with his consent, so it's fine. I mean, we kind of saw that last episode too. He doesn't see it as consigning himself. He's ignoring. And this is kind of, I mean, he's been drinking too, right? But he's overcompensating. Being aggressive because he doesn't really want to face what's inside. Doing that thing where he infantilizes the argument to make these guys... There's very valid points look stupid, which is like, no, the thing that you said, mate, was stupid. You can't then compare it to something they're saying to try and make their points look stupid. That's not how that works. But people do this in real life all the time. The thing that he said about your past self, it's not contextually similar at all. But yeah, I'd be interested. So they're lobbying for legalizing severance in a state. So only Lumen are doing it. It's exclusive to Lumen, and it's not legal. So or not widely legal for, I guess, independent businesses or whatever it might be to do it. Egan perhaps has maybe, I don't know, the IP. Are they trying to legalize it so they can sell the technology or something like that? Still questions, but terrifying. This date is going horribly as well for him.
They're forcing it now?
Oh, forced legalized severance. So sorry. It's the force.
And James Egan is trying
Okay,
to
well, what about this?
Wait, they're trying to force kids. So I assume she was going to say force kids to get the implant early because they were talking about brain health. My God. So that they can just be severed whenever. Trying to normalize it and make it a thing everywhere.
I also heard.
Hey man, you want to benefit off forced labor, and that's up to you.
Forced labor.
I mean, it is. The people in there are completely different people. You're forcing them to work. Yeah, no, the kid's right. But yeah, places for Mark's character to go, to learn, to grow. I don't think he necessarily even believes this. I think he's just deluding himself. Because he kind of has to, right? People do that all the time. It's horrible to imagine yourself as the villain, as being in the wrong. So people persuade themselves with whatever logic they possibly can that they're right. And then they convince themselves so completely that they believe it, and then they start spouting like this against completely valid points of people that are actually critical of something, validly so, examining it for what it is and saying, actually, this isn't okay. I feel like there's so much that you can compare this to in our world.
Severance is subjugation.
Oh, that's nice language.
And yeah, because you were so disingenuous in your argument. He called you an asshole, and then you took the high horse. Oh, I hate it. You see this stuff all the time. And then people are discussing things that aren't even the actual points, the valid points that people are bringing up. We're discussing the fact that they called you an asshole because you were being unreasonable and deserved to be called an asshole. So much gets in the way of valid discussion, doesn't it? And it is usually one side that do that. I'm not going to fence it. It's the right.
Peace offering.
Are we fighting?
It is interesting though, right? Because his outburst there comes from a place of hurt, comes from a place of very human emotions as well. You know, we know where he's come from. We know why he's saying all that stuff. It's because he wants to justify the thing that he needs to do to make life bearable for him. It's a very human thing. It's something to be empathized with. But it's so hard sometimes to see past the aggressions, to see past the ignorance, to see past the stubbornness. It's sometimes important, I think, to acknowledge that quite often there is a very insecure person behind it, a hurting person behind it, a person that's been traumatized. I think that supplies a lot of the answer as to perhaps how to deal with it. Because I think the way to fix that is social infrastructure, you know, more of a social inclination towards looking after ourselves, to deprioritizing labor, industry, work, and to prioritize ourselves, humanity, our health, mental health, happiness, right? Which we don't see enough of today, or in this dystopia too, it would seem.
My late husband was a carpenter, and before he passed, he said he would start building us a house in the hereafter.
It's very sweet. You have a talent for bringing up real weird topics out of nowhere, mate.
And there would be a small guest apartment in the back, in case I found a new man.
Well, that's very understanding of him.
So sweet.
Coming on to him as well, huh?
He even drew blueprints, which I keep in my purse.
Oh, she does blink. Beautiful. Hey, maybe this is gonna get the wheels turning in his mind. Yeah, okay.
Woke up not feeling terribly well.
Sick day.
I know your innie will be sad to have missed the day.
I swear to God, I just think of belly buttons, mate. Coffee! Beautiful. Hello.
Where's Mark?
Missed you too.
And I'm not looking to be department chief.
So you don't want to be chief, eh?
He did a stint in the break room yesterday.
What is that about? Tell us.
Funny timing.
Okay, we're here. Half loop, sorry. I did not read that last episode.
The erasers are mostly decorative since we don't have pencils. How far you got in the file?
Well, why don't we always finish the files?
It only keeps so long.
What?
Average 1 in 5 files before they expire.
Mate, you alright? Sorry, they rarely finish them because they expire. I don't know how, but is it a human? whatever it is. They're getting the data from, I don't know, man. What's in the basement, you know? I'm just picturing like dead bodies upon dead, or incubated bodies, I don't know. Buddy, no! Not again. Okay. Venom. Hey, side effects perhaps of the brain implant? Maybe on an older mind?
Irving.
Oh god. I mean, did he doze off? Was that a dream? A person? PD! Oh, he's still around. Okay.
We'll deduct the time you spent dozing from your Audi's paycheck. What will be...
What? We gotta relax, haven't we?
We'll do a wellness check with Miss Casey and go from there, all right?
Thank you, Mr. Milchick.
Thank you, really. Thank you for the punishment. How long was he dozing for? It must be like 10 seconds.
Nothing scary yet.
It's all scary, really, isn't it? Hard to tell it apart after a while.
Oh God, a 4.
Don't f around.
What even are these numbers? Like, do we even know what we're supposedly cleaning?
Right. Humans! Call it now.
My theory, the sea.
Uh-huh.
Famine, plagues, etc. So what is a desperate humanity to do?
It's a hell of a theory, mate, actually.
Populate the sea.
Atlantis.
Probes down to the sea to clean up all the deadly eels and
I love the world that he lives in.
We sense what's eels, and then we tell the probes what to blow up.
Hey, could be spot on there.
This is the leading theory?
It's his leading theory.
Irv thinks we're cutting swear words out of movies.
Duh.
What are we actually working on down there?
I don't know.
Oh, Petey! You don't know?
They separate us from the other departments. We don't even know how many there are.
Right, okay. So they are in there, we just don't see them.
But I've been reintegrated for 2 weeks now.
Okay. Mate, you promised answers. What do you mean? Okay. You alright, mate?
You okay?
His fingernails are a little dirty too. I mean, he's out and about, right? But Irv's were. What was that?
Reintegration sickness.
Reintegrated. Right. So you're... So sorry, both of your psyches have been fused then? Like, do you not... Is that what that is?
There's this room.
Right.
We go in there when we don't act right.
Oh, the break room.
I'm afraid you're not sorry. Please, forgive me for the harm I have caused this world.
Jesus.
I'm thankful to have been caught. All I can be is sorry.
It's very culty, isn't it?
Forgive me for the harm I have caused this world.
Yeah, what's going on in there, huh? Not what you were promised.
Is that?
Yeah.
That's the break room.
Right. Is that Egan?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't...
There he is.
That piece hung in the perpetuity wing for many years.
Ah, you kooky bastard. I love him.
It's better here. It's calming.
Is it? What?
I'm Irving.
I'm uncomfortable.
Most people only think of O&D when new handbook totes come in. Well, I love those too. There's new ones coming next month. Best design yet.
God, this is dry, isn't it?
Now, that's all I'll be thinking about until then.
Sorry, not the show, not the dialogue. I'm just the conversation.
Now, that's all I'll be thinking about until then.
Kill me now, you know? Yeah, being whipped, aren't they? Do you know, it's funny. This started happening, and I was like, oh, it's nice that they have this, though. And I'm like, no, Tyler. This is what it does to you. It makes you think that mediocrity, that the absolute bare minimum is a reward. And it's like, no. The outside, nature, calm, peace, happiness, it's a right that everybody should have. Not this simulacrum of it, not this barest hint of it. But these places make you feel like any good is spectacular, don't they? What an effect that is.
What I'd like to do is share with you some facts about your Audi.
Sorry.
These facts should be very pleasing.
I thought you weren't supposed to be told about them.
They're yours to enjoy.
Are they going to get wiped after this, or what?
Your Audi is generous.
Okay.
Your Audi is a friend to children and to the elderly and the insane.
Okay. You know, this is the thing. I don't trust that what she's saying is true anyway. They're all lying to them, aren't they? So it begs the question in my head, actually, are they being told about their outie, or are they being told what they want to hear? What they need to hear? And because they're not supposed to interact with each other, I suppose, is what was said. But I'm like, they're not supposed to know, I guess, about themselves. No, they did say that they're not supposed to know anything about their outies, right? And I wonder whether that's impacting why he's having the dream, maybe? And I don't know, his fingernails, is that something from the outside? I don't know. There's something going on with Irv, though. And I do wonder whether this experience is part of that.
I'm sorry. Please try to enjoy each fact equally and not show preference for any over the others.
Jesus.
That's 10 points off. You have 90 points remaining.
Oh my God.
You're outie.
Limiting joy. You can't be too joyful. You can't. God. Oh my God. I'm starting to wonder if Irv, Mark, everyone in here is being experimented on. Irv said points like that was new to him. This feels almost like she's watching his behaviour. She says he can't speak and waits to see if he complies. Then we had earlier the reference to Congress and legalising severance, not to mention enacting it on the young. New theory. Are they being experimented on to eventually roll out this plan for mass subjugation of the populace? Is it going to be that grand, that widespread? Maybe that's a little ambitious. We shall see.
Your outie values water.
So interesting. They're telling him information while not telling him anything. It's so devoid of specifics as to be useless information. And yet he has been conditioned to find that appealing and something that gives him happiness. And it to me, it just speaks of this example of how empty this is, how manipulating this is, this whole thing, this whole process. Subjugation, subjugated, you know, what we got, those kids on the street, you're being subjugated. This is part of the subjugation. It keeps them conditioned to be happy here in their entrapment. And what do we get? No, you gotta treat them all equally. You can't be more joyful for one over the other. What does that teach? It teaches obedience. It teaches, to a point. Yep, good, to a point. And what point? When we say so, right? Obedience. It teaches obedience. What a dangerous game of conditioning they're running here. These guys in here are almost not human. It's not their fault, but they're being leached of their humanity and their individuality, their autonomy.
A photo of your outie with a trophy was once in a newspaper.
Empty facts. I don't even think they're not even facts.
Your outie likes
convinced
the sound of radar.
That's insane. I'm convinced that these are all lies. She is just saying what they feel like he wants to hear.
Is skilled at kissing and lovemaking.
Yeah, maybe they even say this one thing to all of them if they go to this room. Probably right.
And the wellness session will end.
Is it a wellness session? Is it truly? My God. That all is horrible. Shriveled raisins, perfect. Okay.
Okay, but how good are the scanners? Like, how was wellness?
Very restorative.
Bert? I've met that guy. He's a
Bert's not a
safety of this department.
Fear.
I want your waffle party.
Oh, there's some mystery to this and it's going to be horrifying. I know that much.
Lumen has been good to us.
Yeah, restorative. Lumen has been good to us. No, mate. No, they haven't. They're horrible to you. They're exploiting you, manipulating you.
And Bennett?
Okay. What a horrible experience too. They are just looking for fear, in a constant state of fight or flight.
The numbers were scary.
That's crazy. Genuine fear. She's genuinely shaken. Imagine doing that. Imagine doing that. That's your job every single day. That's got to wear on you. That's got to numb you as well. All of this stuff contributing to the numbing of a person. I'll add to this, as per my previous theory, keeping them in a state of fear makes them more pliable. Constantly emotionally distracted, breaking them down and keeping them vulnerable allows an easier foundation to make them comply or teach them the behaviours the company wants them to learn.
You can use the shower.
What are you trying to say?
You're a stinky boy. Yeah, and Mark doesn't think he's necessarily doing anything wrong here, I think, right? Because he thinks he's still in control, but he's not. I mean, we know he's being monitored. Uh-oh. Oh, PD. Oh, that is maddening. Is his perception of time being messed up here? Yeah. Got two minds in one, right? I mean, honestly, I've talked a lot this episode. I got a lot of footage, so yeah, I won't talk too much more. I will just say, yeah, what a meaty show to dig into. So interesting. And every episode two episodes so far have really effectively intrigued me. This unfurling mystery with, at the heart of it, this commentary of the workplace ethics. I think wider, existentially asking the question of, is this the best thing for us, and making, I think, us as the audience start to question things a little more too, start that discussion going, at least, which, you know, It's what media is there for. It's supposed to make you think. Yeah, that was Half-Loop. Thank you so much for watching. Hey, if this was your first video that you have seen of mine, please do consider subscribing down below if you enjoyed the video. Like it, all that stuff. Hey, drop a comment as well. Anything you thought about the episode that you feel I missed or might be interesting, put it down below, let me know. But God, thank you as always to my patrons, my YouTube members, for supporting me in the way that you do. Thank you so much, genuinely, for your support. Hey, for those interested, by the way, if you're not aware, I do have a second channel for gaming. I am currently playing Alien Isolation. If that kind of thing tickles your fancy, link in the description as well. If you're hankering for the next episode of Severance, I do cover them weekly every single Wednesday, but there will be early access available. The next episode, I think, will probably be available as well. If you're curious, go to my channel page, scroll to the bottom, see what's available. If you think it's worth it, hey, go ahead. But if not, no worries, mate. We'll be friends. Don't worry about it. That being said, thank you once more for watching, and hey, I'll see you next time.